Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial video. In this video I'm going to talk about a new regression tool that we can use to do some more complicated regressions as opposed to the basic data analysis tool pack that we've been using so far. So we're going to use an add-on called OLS Regression. You can get this add-in from the website of Wabash College. The URL that you need is at the top of my screen, or you can just Google OLS Regression Wabash and you'll find this page. So first I'm going to talk about how to install the add-in. First you want to download olsregression.xla, and that's this middle file right here. For now, I'm going to save it onto my desktop. Now what we need to do is find the location within your computer where your Excel add-ins are stored. I am using Excel 2016, which is available from the university. But if you have a different version, an older version of Excel, then this might look a little bit different. But here's where my folder is. So first we're going to go into the drive where I have Excel installed. For me, that's C. And then I'm going to click on Program Files. Now I have two different program files folders. Depending on your system, your Excel installation may be in one of the two of these. So now I'm going to go into the Microsoft Office folder, then click the root folder, and then within that, I want to look for Office 16, and then Library. This is a bit complicated, but hopefully you are able to find your folder. Once we've done that, we want to move the OLS regression file that we downloaded into this folder. You may be asked to provide administrator permission. Just click Continue. Okay, now we're done with this. We're now back in Excel where we are going to run a regression. If you had Excel open during the last step, then you're going to want to fully exit out and load it back up. I've loaded up a sample data set that has 20 explanatory variables. Now the reason that we are using this new add-in is because the regular Excel data analysis toolpack regression only lets us use 16 explanatory variables. And as we go into the back half of this course, the models are only going to get more and more complicated with more and more variables. The first thing we need to do is make sure the add-in is activated. So we'll click on the Developer tab, click on Excel Add-ins, and make sure that the box next to OLS Regression is ticked. Click OK. Now we're going to go to the Add-ins tab, and we'll notice that there is an OLS Regression button that now shows up. Click that. We'll now be taken to a dialog box that closely resembles the one that we are familiar with. As before, we're going to need to define an X variables range. So we'll click that and select all of our X variables. Make sure to include the top label row as well. We'll do the same thing for the Y variable. OLS regression will automatically include an intercept term, but if you don't want that, then you can uncheck this box. We can also get residuals, which we might need depending on what we're doing. So we'll click on that. Don't worry about the robust standard errors for right now. We'll just click OK to run the regression. We now see a familiar table of regression results. Up at the top, we have the residual sum of squares, total sum of squares, r squared, and so forth. Below that, we have the regression table. First, we have our coefficient estimates, and then the standard errors. To right of that, we have the robust standard errors, which, as I said, we're not going to worry about at this time. Finally, we have the t-stat and p-value. Below that, if we ask for them, we have the residuals. Notice that unlike the regression add-in we used before, it does not automatically calculate the predicted y-hats. However, that is easy to do ourselves. While we could multiply the coefficient estimates by the x values for each observation and add all of those up, there is a much faster way. Remember that we construct the residuals by subtracting y minus y hat. So if we rearrange that a little bit, we can also solve for y hat as y minus the residuals. So let's calculate those. I'm going to go back to the data set and click on the first y value and subtract the corresponding residual and fill those out. Now we have the set of predicted y-hats. That's all I wanted to show you today about the OLS Regression Add-in. If you have any questions about installing it or you're having any trouble with it, feel free to let me know. Thanks for watching.